woman in tech, a Black woman in tech, a queer Black woman in tech. There's a lot of onlys there. When you're an only in the room, whether it's the only woman, whether it's the only Black person, whether it's the only Black woman, there's an interesting dichotomy that happens. One, you're over listened to and over attended to. People who invite you into the conversation are extra interested in what you have to say. So you tend to be the stand-in for everyone who is Black, everyone who is a woman, everyone who is queer, everyone who is a Black queer woman. You're the voice of that group. It gives you the sense that everything you say is extra important. You need to be extra, extra, extra careful, especially in tech when all three of those categories are so small. You feel as if everything you say has extra weight. You feel as if you're responsible for speaking for a group. No room to make mistakes at all, because you've then sort of let down everyone you represent. And then at the same time, your voice is not actually heard or implemented at the level of the majority voice. I'm seeing the shift toward more DEI exclusive practices and assessment. That shift is necessary because organizational health assumes that everyone is at the same place. It assumes that you can make a career chart that will fit every single person. And what is happening is that people are becoming more aware of the fact that people are not actually all equal. They can have the same title, they can be in the same department, but one person can be paid significantly less. One person can be passed over repeatedly for a promotion. One person can have all of their people that they recommend hired, and another person can't. And that is DEI work. That is based in intentional and unintentional bias. It's based in how we, again, interact as groups and how we tend to, as humans, default to a set of things that are, this is just the way we do it. So we don't have to think about every single thing we do. We come in, we get our coffee, we sit down, maybe we say hello to somebody. The person we say hello to is ingrained in our brain, and we have to unpack that a little bit and say, why are you saying hello to this person? Let's look at this person, and we have to make a new normal. And so for me, DEI is that level up, that building the new normal that is going to, again, raise everybody into a better situation. So it used to be really, really normal to not see women at work, period. And then it was, the men went away, the women came into the workforce, the men came back. There was a tussle. It was not comfortable for a lot of people, but we're here now where it would be odd to suggest that you never see a woman when you go to work. And with COVID, we're seeing a lot of women dropping out of the workforce. And so we just need to be clear and conscious about how easy it is for us to slip back into ways that don't help people. And this is all to say that what I'm really loving about the DEI acknowledgement is that it presumes work. It presumes that we need to consciously decide that we're heading for a normal that is more even, more fair, more just, more equitable. And we need to write those policies. We need to write those practices based on that thing and have everyone understand that this is an ongoing process. It's continual work. And we do need to pack it into any of our success metrics. We have not succeeded if we made a bunch of money and our workforce is composed entirely of 40-year-olds. That is not sustainable. That is something that is going to crash and burn because we have a whole new group of people coming up who are not going to understand what we're doing. So I see DEI folks right now. I see them trying to paint with a really big brush, but it's going to, I think that work is going to become as ingrained. It's going to be part of organizational health, part of human resources, and it's going to become as nuanced. So you would have a DEI leader who's a recruiter who's really good at outreach, and then that person hands somebody off to someone who's really good at inclusion and assessment and training, and then that person hands somebody off to someone who's really good at career mapping. So DEI isn't just one person does everything. We are going to make sure that you feel included. It becomes a more nuanced career path. I'm very, very encouraged by the ability for folks to find employees and team members from a lot of different places. I think that's huge, and it is system driven. It is obviously IT. It is all these amazing things we built to make people more accessible to each other. Having these virtual meetings. That to me is the big deal, because it just makes it easier for folks to do something that is ultimately going to result in these like bigger wins. People can connect with anyone, anywhere. So that plus practices and processes, like really writing them down, really committing to them, and have folks make their own commitments. It doesn't have to be anything that I necessarily say. It needs to be thoughtful in a way that is regenerative and non-extractive, and recognizes that there's inequities and that those need to be fixed.